Hey guys, I'm Brufio. Welcome back to the channel. Today I give you my top 5 things that you should do in every Cubase session. It's not always dependent on Cubase, but most of the tips are just easy to do in Cubase. Cubase has a workflow that allows for very nice things that other DAWs don't have. And I know that because I'm using every DAW on the planet from time to time just to get a feel of what the competition is doing. Are you ready? Then let's go! So when you open up Cubase and you start with your tracks, then you have to color code them, in my opinion. Because if it's all the same color and you have a session like this with more than one track, then it's really, you don't have an overview, a good overview of where the guitars are. For me, every time I'm doing a session, my drums are blue, my basses are yellow, the acoustic guitars are dark yellow to orange-ish, electric guitars are green, synthesizer and MIDI stuff is purple-ish, and my vocals are pink. The background vocals are dark purple, and the effects are in also like an ocean blue, a surf green. So I can see immediately if I want to go to electric guitars, bam, they are here. You know, and that's really easy for you to see where you have to go to in your session. If it's all the same color, it's really not that good. Also, what you also have to do is to use folders. For example, here, drum folder, bam, drums are hidden, drums are back again. You know, so you can use this, for example, to say, okay, the percussion, the clap, the deep kick, and the kick should go in this folder. You just drag and drop it. You see the green arrow, and now they are in the drums folder. And then you could also say, hey, let's group edit them. And if you activate it, then you can just edit everything at the same time. For example, cut here, and then everything gets cut, or just move stuff around. You also now have this big um, drum track here where you can see that everything that is in the folder is here, so you can just drag and drop sections. So organizing a session in that case is really important, and you should do it for, yeah, every session, every mix, every recording you do. And also always use the same colors, because if you use different colors all the time, it doesn't make sense. By the way, you can download my Cubase template for absolutely free. If you go to brufiomusic.com/gift, you can use it. You can start up with it. You can start your productions, your mixing sessions, everything with it. It's not only the Cubase session, you get a lot more recording guides, ebooks, drum samples. So really cool stuff. Go to brufiomusic.com/gift, claim it, download it right now. Tip number 2 is use the drum map. And the drum map is so powerful in Cubase, you have no idea. I don't know if other DAWs really have that. I'm searching for it all the time, but yeah, I don't find it. The drum map is so cool. So I have Superior Drummer here, and I'm going to make, like, you can use this pencil tool, just drag something here. And now what you have in all the DAWs and also in Cubase, if you double click it, you would see that you have these MIDI notes that you have to use. So if you have, for example, the bass, let's do it here, you will have this MIDI mapping. So you can enter a C1, for example, and get a kick and stuff like that. But it doesn't make sense for drums to put in a length, you know, because the kick is a kick hit and not a long note. And the drum editor is so cool because here in my Superior Drummer, if I click on this, so first of all, you have to, of course, make a drum map. I will show you how to do it. So you go to track control settings, and then you just put everything in there, I would say. Edit, apply, okay. And now you see all the icons here. And the drum map is this little drum. You see drum map. If you click that, you can go to no drum map, a GM map. You can use that. It's the general drum mapping method. But I have the course from my good friend Henning Pauli at HP42. He has an amazing um, drum editing course where you can learn how to move your mouse with a drum instrument in a DAW. And yeah, this is one for superior drummer. It works fine. And if you see that now, it doesn't look like the MIDI stuff you saw before. Now you can have this drumstick here, and you see kick hit, kick open, snare center. You have all the different namings for the drums you have in superior drummer, and then you can just click them in. Kick, 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 kick. You know, easy. You see also the snap. So if I go to fourth, then I can just go over here and you have the 4 on the floor. If I go to 16s, then I can also just use different maps in between. If I go to quarter and so on. So you see it's different for everything. Here on the snare rim or on the hi-hat, I have 16 notes. So if I go here, you see that here are 16 notes. Okay, then what I also do is I have my key commands, for example, S, D, Y, X. They are the different velocities for the drums. So if I go now, you can see here the drums. Now you see it's a little bit smaller. I will go to S. It's a very small velocity. D is higher. Epsilon is higher. And X is 100%. Okay, so you see that I could now create different velocities just with my keyboard and the mouse. And you can do that really fast if you get used to it. If you use the key commands for the velocities, it's just nice, you know? It's just nice. I think the drum map is also in my Cubase template. It has to be. So just try it out, get used to it, and you will be so fast with drums. Just amazing. Number 3 is use the mixer. And I know what you're saying now, maybe Logic also does have a mixer, but does it have a mixer like this? Boom, I can go zoom in, zoom out. I can, for example, use the waveforms. So if I play it, I will see immediately which waveforms play. You see, I know exactly that now only the electric guitars are playing, you know? Nothing is moving. Then, boom, put it there. I want to put some plugins in. You have your inserts here. Boom, you use the EQ, mute it, whatever. Here's the EQ. You can scroll down. You have your sense. You have your EQ directly. And this is all customizable. And what I also use is different mixes. For example, you mix a song today. So after you edit everything, you go into your mix mode. And now you are just playing the songs. You can, of course, hide different tracks. As I said, make it bigger. So now I'm going to only work on the guitars. So I put the guitars here, make them bigger. And you say, okay, I will save this mix now. Then you have made a snapshot of that mix. And you can then go in and say, recall snapshot 1. But tomorrow I might think, this mix sounds good, but I think I want to approach it a little bit differently. So you mix another version, you go bam, and now you have snapshot number 2. And then you can go in, instead of saving new sessions, you just have different mixes here. Or maybe you mix with a partner. You have someone that is mixing, he has another sound than you. This does it approach a little bit different. Everyone can do their mixes. Then we can scroll through them and say, okay, I want to hear mix 1, or recall mix 2, and boom, that's it. You know, you can just go in and compare them. It's just amazing. And you can customize the whole mixer, which is, I think, not possible in every DAW. And Cubase has that forever. When I switched from Pro Tools to Cubase, I was just completely shocked at the mixer, and I use it for all the time now. I have it sometimes in a different window, and sometimes I have it beside the editing window. Just gorgeous. Of course, what you can also do is use here the mixer, but it has to be a little bit smaller then. You know, you don't have the waveforms and stuff like that. So I'm a friend of just using the key commands to switch between the different views. The mixer, very nice. Number 4 is more of a overall approach. It's not Cubase specifically that Cubase is very good in it, but it is very good in it, and that's automation. Use automation in every track. In Cubase, it's very easy to do it because you have here read, so it reads all the automations. You have write, and you can just go in, and it doesn't matter which parameter you are changing, it writes the automation. So let's go for the kick. So let's solo the kick. We are in write mode, and what I'm going to do now is I do volume automation. Why not with the kick? You see? It writes everything that I put in there. Now I can go in and just change it. I can also look at the plugin, the Pro Q. Boom, bypass, not bypassed. It just writes everything with it. And even if I go here, the parameters inside of the plugin are changing. Okay, it's in write mode. You can see it here. I play and I will change it. And it wrote the automation. Let's check it out. I'm doing nothing. Okay, so it writes the automation and you see every parameter here. It also says band 1 gain in the EQ. And you can change that. So automation, of course, it's so important to professional mixes. Use the delay and the reverb to fade in and out in different parts. But I also use it to sometimes just mute a part from the instrument in a section where it's too crowded. Or I use the bus of, let's say, the electric guitars, and then I bump them up 0.3 dB in the chorus. And so your mix really gets this live and it goes up and down and is dynamic. Please, you have to use automation, and Cubase just makes it so easy. Now if I go out of write mode, it only reads, so that's easy. And if you go to A, it suspends all read write automation. And you can always go in and use the pencil tool or whatever to write new automations. The sky is the limit here, and the creativity is just endless. Okay, plugins, move in some distortion, make a bypass, doesn't matter, add delay and completely erase it. Automation is really crucial, and Cubase makes it so easy. I mean, you just go in there, click the arrow, you see the automations. Boom, they're gone. Here they are. Automation. Number 5 is the visibility section in Cubase. It's so helpful. You can see here visibility. Boom. You can here on these sections, you can just move them in and out. So if I go to the visibility section, let's make it a little bit bigger. You have all your tracks, even inputs and outputs. So let's say you want to work on the electric guitars only. You can just drag and drop down. They are all gone now from the session. And you see, because we color coded them correctly, you see, my guitars are here. Bam. And now the session is only the electric guitars. everything still will play within the song, you know. But yeah, it's your session now is only the electric guitars. Of course, you can also solo them. Just go here, click solo. Or what you can also do is just also use a bus, electric guitar bus. So let's create one together, add a track. We use a group, or you can group channel to selected channels. Yeah, so I group them now. I say stereo because of why not? It goes to, I only have a DAW out now for this video, and electric bass. Okay, so now I have the bass. You see it's automatically color coded in my coloring, because in my settings in Cubase I just said, okay, I want them to be always light blue. And if you don't create them by selecting it and create a group, you can then go to Shift Alt in Mac. Sorry. And if you then use the bus that we created, you see groups, electric bus. Now it is here. And now everything is bussed to the electric guitar, to the electric bus. So if I would now play the guitars, I can say solo save. So you click Alt on the save button. Now this is solo save or solo defeat in Cubase. That means if you solo a track, that the bus still is always in solo mode. Otherwise, it would be that you will not hear the bus. So this is, if it's in solo save, then even if you solo another track, this will always be solo save. So now you can, of course, go into the channel and customize everything you want, and the visibility is there. You can also say, I only want to have the drum bass. I only want to have the drum bass. And you see that if you have group selection on, then everything is enabled and disabled. Okay, so that's something you have to keep in mind. So group editing off. Now I want to have all the buses, vocal bus, effects bus, BVs, you know, that's it. Now you always have them engaged. Now you can go in and just work on the buses. So that's so cool. It's just something that helps extremely, and I really love that feature in Cubase. Let me know what you think, guys. What are you using the most? I mean, there's so much more we could talk about. Even the metering section here, where you can say, okay, I want to have the loudness meter, where I can see immediately if it's enough LUFS for Spotify, whatever. So much to do. But I think those 5 things I'm doing in every mix, I'm using in every mix and in every session, and they are helping me a lot. Okay, so color coding, organizing, then using the drum map for all you beat makers out there, or Superior Drummer users, whatever. Use the mixer if you are in mixing mode to really get the most out of the mix window, customize it to your liking. And then use the visibility section if you have big sessions, you know, to just organize yourself. And even if you start out, I mean, sometimes 30 tracks can be overwhelming when you start out. And here you can just clean everything up, work on it from time to time, only work on the buses, whatever. So this is my video for today. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and hype the video if you don't mind. It will help me a lot. Otherwise, go to brufiomusic.com/gift for the free template that I made. And I would say we see us in the next video. Peace out.